Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the first video in a new series where I will be playing Baldur's Gate 3, a video game developed and published by Larian Studios. I'm so excited to be starting out this campaign of Baldur's Gate 3, set in the D&D world of Faerun, following the events of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, games I have not played, but very excited to bring this playthrough here, as I have been mentioning on many of my daily diary videos how excited I was to play BG3 because Divinity Original Sin 2 is another game previously published by Larian Studios that is my fifth favorite game ever that I've ever played, and so I'm so excited now to bring you Baldur's Gate 3, and so without further ado, let's have some fun. So we have three difficulties here. We have either Explorer, a narrative experience placing story before combat. We have Balanced, a balanced adventure full of challenging choices. Or Tactician, a tough campaign emphasizing strategic combat. So I will be choosing Tactician. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I did not play the early access whatsoever, and so as a result I'm really excited in terms of seeing what the game has in store here for the full published game. Here we go. So, I'm not going to play as any of the origin characters. In fact, I have actually thought of who it is that I want to play as, and I instead would like to play a custom character. So, let's see, so if I pick here, I have origin, right? So I would rather play a custom character. Okay, and we're going to edit appearance. And the reason I say this is, actually one thing I first want to look at here is I want to make sure that subtitles are off. I don't want any subtitles. We do not want subtitles. Okay, let's resume here. And so for the what I'm going to do is here I'm picking an origin character, a custom character, And what I'm doing from there is, now I'll pick a race, right? I've already researched ahead of time that I want to be a half-orc, and the reason I want to choose half-orc is they just have the best racials by far of anybody in the game. So they have solid movement, they can move 9 meters per turn, they have dark vision, which is very important, but then these are the best two, which are especially good for the class that I'm going to be, which, if you know me as Lord Naren White, I'm going to play as a paladin. And of course, just like in many of the other games where I roleplay, I'm going to be roleplaying as my pseudo-son named Brockshield in this game. And so, looking at it here, you see here I have, there are two other half-orc abilities. Relentless Endurance, so if you reach 0 hit points, you regain 1 hit points instead of becoming downed. That is just so beautiful, because that may happen a lot, as Brockshield will be a frontline fighter. And then you also have Savage Attacks, which is when you land a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, your damage dice are tripled instead of doubled. So that's just super cool. So for class, we're going to pick Paladin, which is really nice. So we're going to have a half-orc Paladin. So fueled by the oath you swore to uphold justice and righteousness, you're a beacon of hope in dark times. So we start with Lay on Hands, we start with Divine Sense. So you can already imagine something where we get down, but we pick ourselves up to 1 health because of our racial, and then we use Lay on Hands to, actually Lay on Hands probably, I think you can only heal other people, but and then we're healed by somebody else or something like that. So that's definitely really quite cool. For the subclass, we have 3 options here. We can either pick Oath of the Ancients. You fight on the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness to preserve the sanctity of life and the beauty of nature. So this gives you Healing Radiance and Oath of the Ancients tenets. I'm not going to pick that. We could also have picked Oath of the Vengeance, which I'm not going to pick either, where it says you have set aside your own purity to right wrongs and deliver justice to those who have committed the most grievous sins. So we could pick Inquisitor's Might, and these are the Oath of Vengeance tenets, or what I'm actually going to pick, which is the Oath of Devotion. Following the ideal of the knight in shining armor, you act with honor and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good. So we get Holy Rebuke, and we also get the Oath of Devotion's tenets, which say, Oath of Devotion paladins abide by the following tenets: courage, stride dauntlessly into action; compassion, show clemency when prudent, and lend your arm to those in need; and duty, tend to your responsibilities, obey just laws, and support those entrusted to your care. So we're going to pick a half-orc paladin with the Oath of Devotion. Now our background. Of all the choices here, I want to pick Soldier. And so there was one that, one of the ones I wanted was History and Persuasion. But I think that, actually, it's interesting. I was either thinking Soldier or Noble. So looking at it, Paladins already come with two of these abilities, right? So the thing is, instead of necessarily looking at this from an ability perspective, I was thinking I wanted to be a soldier because that just felt like the identity that I would want for my pseudo-son. So I have an acolyte, charlatan, criminal, entertainer, folk hero, guild artisan, noble, outlander, sage, soldier, and urchin. Actually, noble is pretty good too, because it says one of the skills is persuasion. But I don't know if this is redundant or if this stacks. That's one of the things I'm not sure. Intimidation +4. So this says -1 to intimidation. I don't know if I like that. We could also be a noble. That's something that would also fit the identity of my pseudo-son. Noble is definitely interesting because it says +4 to persuasion, and history it says +1. Interestingly, I'm not sure how exactly that works. Do you know what I'll do is I'll quickly do a little bit of research here. Interesting. So I don't think these proficiencies stack on each other. So it doesn't really make sense to be a soldier or a noble, actually. Oh, I see here. It's changing the background. You see that? This actually sets the background to what it is. And here, if I pick noble, my intimidation and all the... See how all the values are changing? So being a paladin must have given me some specifically. Like each one I have intimidation, persuasion, and athletics. And then a soldier gives me athletics and intimidation as well. Whereas a noble gives me history and persuasion. This is a difficult choice for me. I think both aspects of this are really important. I don't really want to increase my intimidation per se, right? So that's something that I'm not really super excited about when I think about it. Here, if I pick one of the ones that like doesn't say like deception and stealth, my persuasion, oh, it seems like I don't actually have persuasion here. Interesting. Here I do though, I have persuasion at 4, and here persuasion also at 4. So I'll be a soldier. I think that's the one for me. We get +5 athletics. We still have also a nice score for intimidation and persuasion. And of course we want to have persuasion. So if you look at a paladin, if you change the class, you see here that the proficiencies also change. So since I'm going to be a paladin, we'll fix that up in due time. But that is quite cool because you can see here I can change a lot of these. Because I'm a paladin, I automatically get intimidation and persuasion. So soldier gives me athletics, which is really good, and noble gives me history, and I don't need the persuasion, and I don't also care about the -1 to intimidation, because that's actually quite, I think, noble, no pun intended, because the soldier wouldn't want to be the bully. So that's really cool. So I'm definitely going to be a soldier, so I'm set on that now, and everything else is working out fine. And so now I want to go ahead and we'll set our ability score. What happens if we just, so we can just reduce everything, which is cool, to like its minimum, and see how many points we get. Okay, so for strength we want to go to 15, and then charisma we want to go to 16, and the rest we'll put constitution and to 14. And the reason why we put strength to 15 is because of the fact that that's what you need to wear plate. So 15 strength allows you to wear plate, and 16 charisma is +3 to the charisma checks, and we also have +2 constitution, +2 strength, +2 charisma. We can actually increase our strength to 16 if we want to, and dexterity would be pretty good too, because dexterity is what we roll to start combat first. So I don't think I need actually anything else. What I do want to do is quickly reference online if I'm on the right path. It certainly seems that way. It seems like you pretty much have your option of how you want to focus on the, whether you want to leave some stats as 8 or not, right? So that's pretty much, like dexterity they say boost that to 10, so that's your decision there. And then also you want to boost wisdom to 10. If we leave it at 8, it says -1. I can't seem to boost this anymore, so this is quite good. You see the skill doesn't change between 16 and that. I'd actually, oh, I can't get any higher there, so I think that's what seems correct, and the 8 to intelligence. So yeah, this looks good. because any odd number you see doesn't give us any extra points. So you see this is +2 and this is +3, but 17 wouldn't give us any more, so that's quite good. Now we have our stats. We got 16 strength, 14 constitution, 16 charisma, and yeah, just want to make sure. Yeah, I can't go any higher, so this is good. This is good. So yeah, we have all the stats assigned correctly. And what we'll do now is we'll edit our appearance. So of course we're male. Let's hear the voices.
Where to next?
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed. I can feel its aura.
Where to next?
The one I like are 5
Be wary. This place is trapped.
and 7.
More of those wretched things. Where to next? Let's hope the locals are friendly.
I like 7.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
We'll go with 7.
More of those wretched things.
Let's see. Do they have? Wow, they do. So they do have a non-binary and other. And of course, I'll be selecting male for my pseudo-son Brockshield. And so great diversity of options there. So for the skin color, we can pick really almost any tone we want, which is really quite cool. Wow, I could spend hours on this character creator. This is just so cool. Looks really cool, man. Wow, just beautiful. I like this olive one, but if I don't want Brockshield to be a little bit olive, we could go with this neutral one instead. Or we could choose cool one, pallid one, blush one, warm one. That's just so cool. So cool. The one I'm gonna go with is this olive tone one. I just think it's... The reason I say that is because orcs in World of Warcraft, they're all basically green, and so that's the only other experience I have playing an orc. So, gold is pretty nice. Gold is quite beautiful, actually. I like the olive, though. That's the default one, I'm pretty sure. Olive one is quite good. Can always pick a darker color. Sage is good, all is good. Neutral, cool. Pallid. I was thinking Pallid also actually. I think I'll actually go with Pallid Tone 1. We'll select Pallid Tone 1, that'll be my final answer. Scarring, no scar. Maturity, youngest is fine. Wow, so here you can see the genitals. Really cool. Interesting. Okay, this will be the one that I go with. Alright. Now we'll look at the body art. Well, let's look at the different head options first. I like head 4, so we'll continue on from there.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed. I can feel its aura.
Okay, body art. I don't want any body art or piercings. Eyes. Blue is quite nice. That's so cool they have heterochromia. The dark blue is really quite beautiful. Blue 1. Blue 1 is just fine. Makeup. I don't need any makeup. They probably have come up with some really cool stuff, but no makeup is fine. Same with the lip tint. Hair. I definitely am thinking I would want him to have hair. Bald is beautiful though. Nothing wrong with bald. If I ever used to play an orc in World of Warcraft, I would play a bald character. But because he is my pseudo-son, I do imagine he would have hair. So I'm gonna pick one with hair. Or pick hair, of course, for my character. I'm not sure if I can name him. That's actually something that's been a little bit... We'll get to the hair color in time. Let's see... Chrysalis pod. Quite cool. Foxtail. Peries. Quan. Ariel Ribbon. Banded Moonshade. I'm not really necessarily a fan of any of these yet, but I'm determined to make a decision. Flaunting Bounce. Scholar, Wavelet, Willow Tear, Savant. Savant is actually pretty good. Let's see. At least, I mean, they're all good. It's just my opinion, right, of what I want my pseudo-son to look like. Veiled Evocation. Duster. Duchess. Mongoose Tail. Yeah, I definitely am thinking I'm moving forward with... Tidy Mohawk is pretty cool. I do like the Mohawk style for sure. This is pretty clean too. Windblown is legit. I like Valiant Heart. So that's good. So it's between pretty much this one and Savant. Do I want that longer look on the side, or do I want something more like Windblown? Windblown is more my style. That's so cool. So for hair color, we're gonna pick brown 4. I like brown 4. In fact, I'm actually thinking the eye color will change this to brown as well. Brown 1's fine. Hair, brown 4. We do need any highlights? I don't think so. Graying. We don't need any graying either. Zoom out. Looks quite nice. Looks very clean. Awesome. Facial hair. Let's see what options we have as we zoom in here. The beard is quite cool. I'm not too much of a beard guy myself. Though Lord Jesus Christ is typically described in a beard, so maybe my son takes after him. What do you think? The beard looks pretty good. I think I'll go with no beard though. Just a clean paladin look. So, looks good. And yeah, everything looks good. So let's go ahead and actually before I proceed any further, that's where I'm actually going to go ahead and end the video there for this week. As you see here, this is my origin character does not seem to have a name. I don't seem to be able to name my character, but if he did have a name, it would be Brockshield, as he is. I am role-playing as my pseudo son. Pseudo, of course, meaning fake, because this is not, this is not real. This is a imitation, I should say, right? This is an imitation, so that's why I call, because it's a role-playing game, right? So I'm role-playing as a fake, this isn't actually real. So as a result of everything that we've led up to at this point, that's where I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and click proceed and start off next week's video with Brockshield here, the half-orc paladin. And so with that, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.